and live your life today. It doesn't matter what they say.
Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a different episode for Red Lotus Life. I have to kind of say it in advance that I'm actually really uncomfortable with this one because it's something that I personally have a hard time receiving. And I'm just so incredibly grateful for Sara Elizabeth right now to have been able to put this together. So first of all, just deep, deep gratitude for you.
So much gratitude.
So I am Lori Kinsey, Advanced Spiral Practitioner and founder of and creator of Red Lotus Life. This is Sara Elizabeth Hoffman, my co-creator in Red Lotus Life. I actually specialize in domestic violence and human sex trafficking, actually all the human trafficking. And Sara, she specializes in inner child work, nonviolent communication, and embodiment. And then together we come together with Red Lotus Life and we create education and workshops, resources, all kinds of things for survivors of abuse of any kind, domestic violence, and trafficking. So the reason why this is so hard for me, this episode is because Sara Elizabeth was so incredibly, I'm just really humbled, actually. I don't have words. I've been trying to figure out how do I even introduce this whenever you said that you wanted to create this video. But honestly, I just want to say that she created a GoFundMe campaign because our vision for Red Lotus Life is huge right now.
Huge.
It is huge. It is global. The impact that we know that is possible is very attainable with what it is that we're going to be creating in the next 2 years, 2024 and 2025. And we realized as we were creating this vision and the plan and actually implementing the plan that we need support. We need help. And so Sara Elizabeth decided to create a GoFundMe campaign to help support our vision. I wanted to get into a little bit about how Red Lotus Life was created and why, where it is now. And then also what it is. I want to share a little bit of our vision with you. But first, I want to ask, I'm just stumbling over my words because I'm not used to this. And so again, just so grateful for you, Sara, for all that you are and for creating this campaign.
I just want to say that I am so incredibly grateful for you and for the opportunity to work side by side with you as your co-creator for Red Lotus Life. And the reason why I desired so deeply to create this campaign is because the work that we are doing is so incredibly important. We desire to make an impact. We desire to be of service. And in order to create the impact that we really desire to create here at Red Lotus Life, we need help. And just as Lori is saying, it's hard for me to ask for help as well. But we're a small business. Our entire team is female. And in order to really, really lay the foundations that we desire or that we need to have laid, it has become obvious to us that it would be incredibly helpful in order to be able to receive the funds, to be able to really get us on our feet, to get us up and going in a way that will allow us to feel more stable, more comfortable, more confident, and sort of ease the way so that we can continue to move forward. Just again, so incredibly grateful, honored, and humbled to be in this space with Lori. And, we've been friends and soul sisters for the better part of 6 years, maybe even going on 7 now at this point. And so just witnessing her journey and the seeds planted, because I've been there since the very beginning, the seeds that were planted as far as Red Lotus Life is concerned, I've witnessed this entire journey. And so now I just want to be able to give back to her. I mean, she has been not only a soul sister, but also a mentor to me. And so just being able to continue on that journey in a much bigger way, on bigger platforms, and to be of service is just, just so much gratitude.
Mm. Thank you. Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
being on this journey with me. And you are absolutely right. You were there from the very beginning. So that's what I want to talk about really quick. We're trying not to make this too long, but real quick. So Red Lotus Life, Sara Elizabeth was there from the very beginning of it even being maybe a thought in my mind. And that was almost 6 years ago at this point. I feel it's definitely 5 years. And what Red Lotus Life actually was created for was to be a safe space for people of all genders, all races, all interests, all religious beliefs, all everything, to actually come together and learn not new, but all concepts too, to just be a safe place. Because I had a friend who really, he wanted to go to some meditations that I was going to. He was suffering from anxiety. He couldn't sleep. He didn't want to go to the doctor and take meds. And he was just saying, I want to learn more about what it is that you do, what it is that you go to. Because I was doing meditations and sound. I was actually going to them, like sound meditations, sound healing meditations. And it was really helping me with the traumas that I've experienced, because I am a survivor of domestic violence. And so he didn't feel safe. He didn't feel safe going to any of those places because he wasn't a yogi, or he wasn't a hippie, or he didn't look like everybody else. And so I said, well, if I create a space and I bring people together to do one, will you come and will you try it? And he said, yes. And that, I was just like, I'm off to the races then. And this is what's going to happen. And so for a long time, I have been doing this. I've been gathering people locally, globally, all over the world. We moved it from local to online, in 2019, right before the pandemic hit. And now where we are today, because of that, is this global network where we literally work with people from around the world. We have people from all different kinds of education coming in to share their tools, their concepts, their just basically educating on their healing practices, so that survivors of domestic violence, abuse of any kind, and trafficking can find what resonates with them. And so that is where we are now. And we're getting even bigger. 2024 is going to be huge. 2025 is going to be even bigger. And so that is actually why we are here with you today, is to kind of share a little bit about what it is this campaign is and what it's going to be for. So we are serving our global community. We have a YouTube channel that's called Red Lotus Life. This is where we go out and we provide workshops, emotional clearing sessions, education, resources. We have people come in from all over the world to share their services that they provide, nonprofits, all kinds of things that are resources for abuse survivors and trafficking survivors. We also have CERT ministries that we support. They provide rescue. They are boots on the ground, child rescue, sex trafficking rescue. And I know them personally because someone that I know and that I love was actually trafficked. And they were the ones that actually were able to go and find her and bring her home safely. So huge advocate of them and the work that they do. And we like to donate and support them because they 100% survive on just donations. It's about $5,000 per rescue to go and find these children. The Blue Butterfly House. This is a nonprofit that I also know was near and dear to my heart. This is where someone was actually murdered in a domestic violence situation. And the results of this is the Blue Butterfly House. the Blue Butterfly House is a nonprofit organization where they provide safe space for court-ordered supervision and court-ordered visitation, I guess, basically, so that it's a safe place, it's a neutral place to help prevent the trauma that can occur in child drop-offs and different things like that happen in domestic violence situations, because the threat is real. And then also the Giving Tree. The Giving Tree is something that's near and dear to my heart, is something that we started a few years ago, probably about 4 years ago now at this time, where we work with the local county sheriff's office. We work with the victim's advocate with them and their cases and what these cases are at this time of year. So it's every holiday, or not every holiday, sorry, the holiday season is when we go in and we work with the different people of their cases, because during the holidays, when you have fled domestic violence, this is the time when people go back. And they go back not necessarily because they want to. Sometimes, yes, because they have that, it's the holidays and they want their family to be together. But not only that, but what offenders make it so hard for people to provide for their families, provide Christmas for their children. A lot of trauma actually happens during this time. And so what the Giving Tree does is we go in, we help provide Christmas or anything that we need to do to help keep them safe and not going back to their offenders. So that one is something that's super huge in many ways. Happy to share more about that if anyone is interested. Do you have anything to add to that part with all of the different organizations, the nonprofits that we help support?
I just want to say that each and every one of these organizations are near and dear to our hearts. And I know that Lori has been supporting them herself for quite some time now. And we just desire to give back. And these are services that, oh my goodness, with certain ministries actually going in there, they are rescuing children who have been human trafficked. And just the work that they do is so incredibly powerful, and it's not safe work at all. And the fact that they are doing it completely and totally on a donation basis is just, it never ceases to amaze me, but somehow they get it done. And you can always find updates for what's happening when they're going on rescues and stuff like that on their sites. The
It's
Giving
constant.
Tree. Yeah.
I'm like, it is constant, and they actually do not charge the families at all. They don't charge, it is 100%. It's just their purpose work, and that's what they go do.
Yeah. It's just incredible. As far as
sorry, one more thing. They don't even accept donations from the family. Yeah, that's the other thing, because they won't. The families try to give money, and they won't. They just won't even accept them.
So to add to what you were speaking to about Blue Butterfly House, I just like to say that as a survivor myself as well, this is a service that I absolutely wish that I had at various times throughout my own experience. There definitely are times when, traumatic events happen, and we really want to keep our children safe and keep ourselves safe if we're a parent, a grandparent that's in that situation. So just really love the work that they are doing. And then just the Giving Tree. When we have fled during the holiday seasons, I can't tell you enough how helpful it is to have that support, and to know that you're able to actually provide the Christmas spirit, or provide during the holiday season for your children. There's so many who don't have that opportunity, and it's that financial just constriction and restriction, especially when you have first left. It's just such a blessing to be able to receive in that way. So all of these organizations are, just so near and dear to our heart, as I've already said, but just really desiring to support them in a bigger way. Another thing that I'd like to just add here is that, we do this work for our mothers, for our sisters, for our brothers, for our fathers who have all, because of the fact that, trauma and the cycles of abuse tend to show up in our lineage generationally. And all of this, we desire to break these cycles, and we desire to use the tools that we have, that we know how to utilize here at Red Lotus Life, as spiral practitioners and practitioners of other modalities, in order to really, really, really get to the root of the abuse, and also to be a voice, as I was saying, for our mothers, our sisters, our brothers who have experienced these things. There's so many of us who don't ever have that chance, and I am here to be that voice. And I think that Lori would agree.
Oh, I love this so much. Yes, it is true. That is the work that we do, is the deep, deep work. And to be honest with you, the reason why we support these organizations is because we have experienced these things ourselves. I know with me, I started the Giving Tree because I was that person. I was that woman with a family with young children that was trying to provide Christmas and all the things when there were just a lot of threats and things happening. And I mean, we can go into this deeper, but it's something, it feels different. You become empowered when you have people supporting you, and they have no idea what's actually happening, but they can relate. And when you have that support, then you can go another day. You know that you're able to, just basically go another day. And that's what we do to provide with these nonprofit organizations, is we want to help support them, to help give people hope. I'm getting emotional.
I know, me too.
I know. I'm like, I'm getting emotional. So I'm going to move on into the scholarship part, because that's part of what this campaign is for, is the scholarships that we want to provide to survivors. We have so many people reaching out to us all the time that want to be part of some of the things that we do and some of the events and memberships that we do, but they just don't have the money to do so right now. And so what we would like to do is actually gift this to them through scholarships and grants and different things. So we do have a spring retreat that's coming up in 2024. It is in a beautiful setting, a very healing place. And this is where people who come and participants who come are going to learn the emotional clearing modality. It's a tool to be able to immediately regulate the nervous system. So as the trauma starts to rise, or we have trauma responses, like panic attacks, anxiety, those types of things, this tool that people will learn and survivors actually are going to learn, is going to help them neutralize that, and to help them, again, get through another day, right? Because there's so much trauma that actually happens. We also have a membership called Say Yes to Soul. This is where we provide support, mentoring, resources, and we do deeper emotional clearing sessions in there, as well as practice. So it's, again, this is just where we go deeper into the details of the work and support on what kind of level would you say? Because I think until you're in the membership, I don't think people really understand what happens in there. But the growth that we see in the community and the connections and everything that we witness.
It really is let me see if I can find the words, because this work is sometimes it can be hard to describe, but for me, it truly is a opening up levels of self-awareness and consciousness, the ability to communicate, the emotional intelligence. We're hitting all of these places that, generally speaking, people are walking around lacking, is basically because we're not taught. And so it's education, and it's really getting to the root of the issues, what that are causing, or the root cause of the trauma is what I'm trying to say. And it just really, really opens us up to be able to express ourselves as our true essence, igniting our inner fire, so that we can be empowered, so that we can be in our sovereignty, so that we know how to respond versus react to projections, so that we know how to be in our bodies, to, no longer be dissociated, so that we can learn our bodies in a way, and our nervous systems in a way that we can recognize the triggers and our activations, and then learn how to respond, learn how to move through those triggers and activations, and learn how to respond.
Yeah, and the work that we do in there is actually so important in everyday life, because just like what you said, we're not taught these things. We're conditioned, and it's conditioned responses. But whenever the work that we do in there, people are actually teaching their children, because they're realizing, oh, so this is what healthy communication is. This is what a healthy relationship is. And it all starts from very young ages. And so this is where we're starting to break this cycle. The next thing that we're asking for, that we're doing, is an application process. It is a process that we have been working on for the better half of 2023. It is an application process where we will be able to provide continuing education credits to professionals who are in the social care fields. So this is an entirely different little branch of Red Lotus Life that we have been wanting to develop for a really long time. And I think the spark up for this one actually happened. I mean, who knows when it really happened, but it's as I've been asked and invited into different speaking engagements and different speaking events and podcasts and things like that, I've had a lot of social care professionals come to me and talk to me even deeper, because I think it's different hearing experiences from someone who didn't know, like I didn't know I was in an abusive relationship, let alone an extremely violent one. I had no idea. And so and I was very successful in career. I was a confident woman. I didn't identify with the billboards and everything that was, everything that we see from the abuse campaign. And so whenever they heard my story, and they heard, like, whenever I share my story and I share the type of person that I was, people are they're surprised. But then not only are they surprised, but now it opens up their awareness, and they resonate. They actually resonate, because I think this happens in most households, actually, at one time or another. Domestic violence and abuse happens, whether that's on a mental, emotional, physical, financial, sexual level. It happens in almost every, I will be so bold to say, as I think every household. It's just not in people's awareness. Right. And so whenever they hear it from our perspective in this way, it just opens up so much space for healing, actually, and so much space for healthy communication and healthy relationships and healthy perspectives on the world. It just catapults, our lives. I don't even know how to really explain what it is that we witness on the daily with this.
we get to witness our clients and our community on the daily creating a life that they love after abuse. That's what we get to witness.
Yeah. And freedom to be themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the other thing too, is to actually just be. They remember who they are, and then
Yes.
they have the freedom to be themselves. And then it creates this life that they love. It's so crazy cool. It's just amazing. Anyway, so we're in this intense application process. We just barely hit submit a couple of days ago, and it's
So
already
exciting.
been accepted. Yeah, it's already been accepted, and we are off to the races with this one. And what that opens up for us is global conferences, global summits, us being able to teach this education to those in the social care fields on such a bigger level. And so we know that now that's the next step, right? That's the next step after this approval. And so we need your help. We need your help with this as well, so that we can start to begin to offer this as soon as possible, as soon as we get that approval. Do you have anything else to add to that?
No, I am just beside myself, excited that after months and months and months of hard work and productivity behind the scenes, working so diligently and consistently on this process, that we actually hit submit, we press send, and I can already just envision the impact that we're going to be able to create just by, having that certification, or that ability to provide the continuing education. Really and truly, the sky is the limit. And because of the impact that we desire to create, and within our communities, and within the broader communities, within society, I just holding this so close to my heart and setting the biggest intentions that all of this it goes through successfully.
Yep, I have no doubt it will.
Mm-hmm.
So get ready for that. The next piece here is we would like to continue our own education in 2024. We would like to deepen our understanding of trauma in the body with somatics. We already have a really good understanding of this. This would be a deeper understanding, and more of a way to specialize in this type of work as well, because we have seen such phenomenal results already as we have taught on this. We've taught and we've been able to embody and model all of this. We always experiment on ourselves first, and we've just been able to see how much this type of, like, how somatics has actually helped us, but not only helped us, but our community, our clients, our children. I mean, it's been so fascinating to witness. So we would like to dive deeper into this work. And in 2024, we already have the instructor and everything lined up and picked out and all the things. So as soon as we can get funds for that.
Yeah. And, just being able to apply this work in our own lives and the work that we're doing with our clients already, what this training actually would be having the ability to add another modality to integrate into the work that we're already doing. It's a very, very in-depth training. It's a training that has just now started to be offered here in the United States. So we really, really would love to be able to join that training so that we can start to bring that work in a much bigger way to our communities and to our clients.
Yeah. And a reason why I personally want to deepen my understanding of this, and go to this particular training, because a lot of times the people that we work with have had such traumatic experiences that they don't remember. They just don't remember. Or with some of the trafficking situations, they've been drugged for years and different things like that. So they literally have zero recollection of the different things that they have experienced. But what this does is we're going to be able to see, just by how the body holds itself, the different types of traumas and the way the body is responding in that way to be able to help those heal from that. So yeah, it can be pretty intense at times. So I'm really excited to be able to help them and support them in a deeper way with their healing. And then the last piece here is our YouTube channel and podcast equipment. So that is something that we actually decided to really dive deep into. And the reason why is because we originally had Red Lotus Life in a Facebook group on the socials. But what we've discovered is that most of our clients, it's not safe to have, or even community. Let me put it that way, community, because this is free. This is free to our global community. What we have discovered is that most of the people that we now work with or are drawn to the type of work and education that we provide, it's not safe for them to have social media accounts. And so we moved everything onto YouTube so that it was free to them still, and they were able to easily access this education and what it is that we do. We need a new laptop for Sara Elizabeth.
Oh.
Yeah, she needs a new laptop, and we need to, that's like one of the top things that we would like to do is get her a new laptop, because right now she's actually borrowing one because hers is having some issues. We also need audio equipment and things like that. We started with the YouTube channel. We've over the summer, put it now out to all the podcast platforms, all the audio platforms. We just have taken that and put it over. But what we've noticed is that the audio is not great with headphones like this. Yeah. And so what we'd like to do is upgrade that. But so many people are asking for it that we decided to just put it out anyway. So this is something just to be able to provide a better experience for those who are watching and listening as well, because there's just so many around the world who really are using the YouTube channel and podcast stations. I don't know, what do you call it? The podcast space, the podcast as a resource, because we do, part of that work that we do there is providing clearing sessions and workshops and things like that. But the most important thing that I think that we provide there are the resources. We bring in other people like BACA, Bikers Against Child Abuse, to come in and share what they do, because their services are free to communities and to people and survivors and victims and everything else. And we want to help provide resources so that people can have immediate support when they are in situations. So that's kind of we have so much more actually that's happening in 2024 and 2025, but this is basically the details of the campaign. And that's whenever I don't have words to just say how grateful I am for you, Sara.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so incredibly grateful for you as well. So excited to be able to be taking these next steps. So
me too. And so if anyone has any questions, just please reach out to us, let us know. If you are able to help, oh my gosh, just so much gratitude for you. I honestly don't have the words.
Yeah. I just would be so incredibly humbled for anything that we're able to receive as far as resources are concerned. If you are unable to support us in that way, no problem. If you would we'd be so grateful if you would just hold space for the intention, and or even just share if that's anything that. See, now I'm getting all tripped up on my words. I was doing really good. We would just have so much gratitude.
I know.
or anything.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's really, really hard for me. I'm usually someone that's asking for others, right? I'm
Mhm.
always fundraising for certain ministries and Blue Butterfly House and the Giving Tree, but it is difficult for me to ask for self, but this actually isn't. It's the work that we're doing here. In fact, the holidays are coming up, so the Giving Tree, maybe I can talk about that really quickly. So the Giving Tree, we literally do whatever we need to do to keep the lights on and to keep the hope in a survivor that has just escaped domestic violence, who is in hiding, who is scared, who is fearful. Last year's was intense. It was incredible. That offender was on the run and the family was in hiding. And if it wasn't for the work with the sheriff's department and the Giving Tree, I don't know if they would be alive today. And so the work that we do is just super, super deep. It's super impactful. It doesn't go unnoticed. It is saving lives. And even with certain ministries, again, saving lives and bringing these children back home. And like I said, I know the people. I know someone who was a child who was trafficked and was brought home safely because of them. And then the Blue Butterfly House, I also know that situation and hold that situation so close to my heart. And how that happened and was created was a senseless murder, again, with domestic violence. So the work that we support and then the work that we do with victims and offenders, we actually also work with and support offenders to break the cycle and to just help humanity on a whole different level, because it is ancestral, it is generational. And that's also, again, why I started this work. And I'll speak for myself, is that I saw the cycle continuing and it wasn't enough for me to leave that relationship.
Right.
I thought it was, and it wasn't. So just so much gratitude for anyone and everyone who's still watching this or listening to this. If you enjoyed this, please like it. It helps us. It helps us know that this is something that you also find near and dear to your heart, because I also know how common this is. I know how common domestic violence is. I know how common abuses of every kind. I know how common trafficking is, even though people seem to not think it. I mean, I remember myself going, wait, what? This happened? Yeah, it happens. And it happens every single day.
It does.
You're not alone. Yeah, you're not alone. We are here for you. We are here to support you. If you are in any of these situations, please reach out to us. We have the resources to be able to support you and serve you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then if you know anyone that is in these situations, please share this with them. Please share the work that we're doing and the channel and the podcast, whatever it is. Please share this with them and ask them to reach out to us too, if you'd like. And then last of all, we'd appreciate it if you subscribed, because if you subscribe, then you get notifications for the next episode, and the episodes are going to get juicy.
Yeah.
So excited, because we just wrapped up the embodiment workshop and now we're going to dive into the integration of what this has done. And holy moly, if it wasn't for that embodiment workshop and that clearing session, I don't know if we'd be where we are today.
I don't think so either. Not at all. It was huge. It was huge.
We have we've truly embodied the work that we do. And not only as survivors, but also supporting survivors and supporting those who support survivors. So it's infinite, this impact. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's with us and anyone who's ever donated and helped support us in any way. Just thank you. Right. Okay. Until next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
And live your life today. same.